It was the chair. I swear.
And that's how we start. Hi, guys.
Hello.
It's been a minute since we posted anything. I'm Adam.
I'm Alex.
We're in my house.
Mm-hmm. In the man cave.
In case the wrestling ring on the wall didn't give it away.
I thought that was a stringed instrument. No. Clang, 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 clang.
And that's why I handle the musical portions of the show. So, we haven't posted anything in a while, and we really don't have any great ideas. So we thought we'd just sit down and talk about each other for a few minutes.
When the camera should have been on was
Here we go.
a moment
It's
ago.
a teaching moment.
A moment ago. We were trying to get the camera set up and everything. And I was like, oh, can that phone that we're recording with zoom in? He goes, yes. And he goes, and nothing happened. It would not zoom in. And
Can't
so
zoom.
he goes and he does some other things, and I just grabbed the piece of furniture that it's on and slid it closer to us. And I said, that's the mountain to Muhammad method. And he looks at me and goes, what?
I have no idea what that means. You still haven't explained
He's
it.
never heard the term. Yeah, it's a, it's a saying.
Is it a history thing?
I don't know, maybe biblical. I don't know where it comes from, but anyway, so if you can't bring Muhammad to the mountain, you bring the mountain to Muhammad. If the
Why
first
does Muhammad want a mountain?
I don't know. I don't have a clue. No one,
Exactly.
no one explained that to me.
Exactly.
Isaac.
Yeah, no one's explained it. You're just using it?
Everybody uses it. I don't know how you don't know it.
To be fair, he also just taught me about jumping the shark.
Oh, he didn't know what jumping the shark was a minute ago.
I'd heard it,
So-
and I knew it was kind of how it was used in context, but
Yep.
I didn't know where it came from.
Yep.
Tell the other people that don't know where it came from.
It has become a term for when a show just loses it, and it came from Happy Days. There was an episode, and I remember it. I remember like the redundant and annoying ads all night long on television. It was like, will he jump the shark tonight? And it was Happy Days. Fonzie, they went to some other locale besides where they were normally set, and Fonzie was learning to ski, and somehow or another he got talked into, in his leather jacket, mind you, in his black leather jacket and shorts, water skiing up a ramp and over a live shark. Live shark is what I said, if his cough obliterated that.
Sorry.
Wait, did I say something? Cannot zoom in or out in this mode. Oh,
I got it.
Okay, we figured it out.
We brought Muhammad a mountain.
Close enough.
I thought it was myrrh.
What?
No, that's the wise men. They brought myrrh.
Oh, yes, gold, Frankenstein, and myrrh, yes. It's such an old gag. And Zach goes, myrrh?
I'm picturing Frankenstein.
Myrrh.
Where Christ child?
He missing gold.
Oh,
We have fun.
yeah.
So, what?
He gets in the manger and he's like, fire bad.
Baby,
Put on the Ritz.
Baby Christ's first words.
Oh, man.
Yes, fire is bad.
And as
We're in a barn.
As you mentioned Christ, I happened to look up and
Oh,
see
great.
a tuna Christmas here.
Careful.
Because we were wanting to talk about theatrical type stuff.
Yeah.
Now, this was a fun play. This is what, 2007? I
Was
think. Yes, December 1st, 2007 is on that ticket right there.
It's been 10
So,
years?
November 30th and December 1st. Yeah, it's been
Oh
10
my
years since we did that
gosh.
show. So this was a lot of fun. Now, I had been in a three-man show before.
Mm-hmm.
Complete Works of William Shakespeare Bridge at the Ritz Theater. Hi, Jake. And then this was, I had kind of stopped. I had kind of stopped doing theater for a while.
You
And
still
then-
directed some.
Yeah, but I wasn't doing as much acting. And then you made your directorial debut with this, right? It was the first thing you directed.
I got talked into it.
And it was a two-man show, so I said, okay, I'll come out of semi-retirement for a two-man show. I guess now the only thing that would get me back would be a one-man show. It's just like, Alex Newburn is...
Alex Newborn.
Truman Capote is... Oh, this has two hooks. This is going to be difficult to put back. I'm just going to set it right here for now.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's right. That's video evidence of Alex taking stuff off my walls. And, I'll put it back later.
Yeah, later. Well, I don't want to be off camera that long. It's going to take me a minute to put it back on the two. Those aren't even hooks. Those are push pins.
Most of the stuff
Buy
is being
some
held up by push
hooks,
pins.
man. Goodness gracious.
Push pins take up less space and you
Oh,
right over them.
I was
Do you like that noise?
trying to put a push pin. It was a room full of boxes, and I was trying to push pin some stuff, and I didn't want to have to go get a step ladder. This was just the other day, and so I thought I could probably stand on this box right here, right on the corner of it. I'm 200 some pounds, but I'm like, this box will probably support my weight just for the moment that I'm putting the push pin up at that height. And so I very carefully put my foot just on the corner where I felt it was strongest, and I'm pushing pinning and I'm pushing pinning, and I sank about an inch, as the cardboard gave and everything. Well, that wasn't all. Apparently, I had no idea what was in the box. And I hear the voice of Minnie Mouse go, "We're going to have fun today." I'm like wetting myself when it happened. So not only are you thinking you're about to cave into a cardboard box, but
Since we're really
you're
just
witnessed by Disney at the time.
since we're kind of just going stream of consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
Chandler's trying to potty train now.
Right?
Yeah, just started the other day. I came home today and he was very excited to see me.
When are you going to potty train?
Oh,
Really?
Oh, sorry.
gotta get in the dig.
That's not even fair.
I come home today and he was very happy to see me, which he usually is, but I mean, he was like extra animated, just hugging wild, basically. He's 2. So I sit down on the floor and he's climbing all over me. The dogs are climbing all over me. And then...
The cats were aloof.
Well, not only that, but they weren't really around. And by the way, never use a cat as a loofah. It's not what he said. So we decided we're gonna go get some. We decided we're gonna go get food. I get up from the floor, surrounded by dogs and Chandler goes, "I step and pee."
Mm-hmm.
Penny.
Was it dog pee?
Penny is a Chihuahua. Penny has some issues. She has a teeny bladder. So we assumed it was her. We put her in bed, told her bad girl. Then we noticed that...
Who was the comedian that said you don't walk a Chihuahua, you just hold it out the window and squeeze?
We noticed that Chandler was damp.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm proud to say it actually didn't end up on me somehow. I did step in it when I got up, but apparently it was me and pee. That sounds like a song.
Sounds like a really bad movie, I was thinking. So.
Oh, no. Don't go to those corners of the internet.
But no, this was... So Tuna Christmas is staring us in the face here. This was the first thing you directed, and I acted in it.
Uh-huh.
And I directed the first thing you acted in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all my fault, really.
That's right.
Yeah. My bad. So what would be your dream show to direct someday? What's
I don't know.
You don't have one? I mean, I've done a couple of mine, so I'm not really sure what's left.
But see, I don't have them. I'm not classically trained theater anything.
Right.
The first thing I did were 1-act plays in my last semester of college. I did 2 of them. One for Scott Long from Sustainable Differences, first Friday in September, come see us. And the other one for Natasha Montgomery. God, I hope I'm getting her name right. Hi, Tasha. And then I didn't do anything until Barefoot in the Park. And one of the reasons I did Barefoot in the Park, my dad, who has since passed, was reading the paper and he goes, "Hey, there's auditions for the show called Barefoot in the Park at the Zodiac." And the Zodiac is one of the first dates your mother and I went on.
I remember that because the show they saw was done later.
Yeah, Butterflies Are Free.
Butterflies Are Free, yeah. They did a reprisal or
I think
revival of
yeah.
it. So.
So I went and I was late. I was working at fresh out of college, first year out of college. You know where I was at? I'm talking good money, good benefits, good hours.
Taco Bell.
Dollar Leaping General. Yeah. You know how some people take a year off? I kind of did. If you hear anything, she's not killing the kid. We're at home. It's bath time. Apparently Chandler's not having a good time. Anyway, I was late. I come into rehearsal, the first rehearsal, and get on stage with Anna, who hasn't been to a Wicked show in a long time. Judgmental stares.
I don't know if mine was judgmental, but it had a little sass to it. So.
Ow.
4 snaps in the as yet unheard of Z formation. In living color.
Oh.
Everything is too old for him.
I go in and Alex says, "Oh, just hop up on stage." And me and Anna get on stage, and I immediately begin to think that Alex is dying. What happens, man? Getting a phone call. Reject 800 number. Give me your home number. I'll call you when I'm ready.
That's right.
I get on stage and start acting with Anna, reading from the script, and I begin to hear what goes on to become one of my favorite sounds, and that's your wheezing, "Oh dear God, I think he's dying" call.
I have a tendency to not get any oxygen when I'm laughing, and it's a sign that the show was funny to me if I have a splitting headache afterward. So, but here's the thing: I had not seen the two of you on the same night. Like, she auditioned on Monday and you auditioned on Tuesday, and I kind of looked over all the people I had and I made my decision, and you were the only person that was age appropriate for that role.
We're coming back to that.
And so I was like, well, he's untested, he's unproven, but I really want her, and they're the same age, and you know, she's perfect. So I'm going to roll the dice on this guy. I'm going to give him a shot, you know. And so we come to that rehearsal, and I'd been reading for Paul up to that point, or maybe JC had, or somebody was reading for Paul Bratter, and Adam walked in from his job, and I just handed the script, and he walks on the stage. You didn't even get introduced to Anna.
No.
Nobody had made an introduction to them yet, and they start playing a scene together that was so good. The read through was so good I could have charged admission to it. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh man, this show could be something special. And I'm thinking, is it just me? Am I the only one that thinks that's so good? And I'm just watching the two of them, you know, and I'm wrapped with it. And this little voice comes over my shoulder, and JC had walked up behind me. JC Hester had walked up behind me, and he said, "There's no other word for that, but what's the word I'm looking for? Chemistry." He said, "There's no other word for that, but chemistry." And I'm like, I know. I didn't even see them together at the auditions. This is a revelation, you know. So, oh man, the rest of the show was just an absolute pleasure. And then you guys would get into that extended fight scene where first Corey's upset and Paul's not, and then Paul's upset and Corey's not, and then finally they're both upset, and it's just a really huge long scene and everything, and I was pushing it further and further and further. I'm like, no, I think you should say this. And you're like, the audience will hate me if I do. No, go ahead and do it. You know, so because and the thing was it was the emotional maturity line. Yeah. We needed to really motivate Anna's line as Corey when she says, "Don't touch me." And it just kind of comes out of nowhere. And so I said, you should pat her on the head like a dog in that previous scene before that. And they've just gone out drinking and eating food that has left them unable to form a fist. And Adam, Uzo. And Adam has done a great job up to this point of, like, if he went to open a doorknob, he would do this. Like, he would not make a fist from that point on in the script. And I said, you know, when she says, "Don't touch me," I want you to just touch her with just like one finger and everything like that. And it just sends her off. So prior to her line, "Don't touch me," I said, "What's that speech you got?" And he was the emotional maturity. I said, "Yeah, at the end of that, pat her on the head like a dog." And I don't remember the whole speech, but it was like, yeah, maybe two people should have more than a blood test before they, you know, get married. Yeah. Maybe they should be tested for something, and you went, "and emotional maturity," like that. And she's just like, that just, and it was so perfect, you know, and the audiences, oh man, they were in for a roller coaster ride of a relationship with those two. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was the first community theater experience, and I've told Rachel this so I can tell the world this. I'd seen Anna around town, had a huge crush on Anna.
Right.
I think everybody in theater did, really, for the most part.
I think you told me later that about that rehearsal that you were like, oh my god, it's the redhead from where was
Budget Video.
Oh, Budget Video. I thought it was the Smokehouse.
Both.
Billiards. Yeah. So.
Both at one point. And I told Rachel that. I went in and I was like, oh my god. And
he had said he didn't want to do the kissing scene, and then he
knew that was going to come
immediately he starts backpedaling. Well, if it's for the show.
No, that's not true either. You're embellishing because we fought it for a while of doing all the kisses with a and sideways and all this.
Yeah.
And this was before you actually started driving.
It was.
That's another story. I was taking him home one night, and I told him, I said, you know what? I'm just going to do the kiss because one or two of those, the audience might not get it, but there were several.
Yeah.
And I told him, I'll do the kiss because otherwise it's just, there's that tiny bit of realism that's going to be lost.
Tell Anna he was going to
Nope. You don't come to Wicked shows, we tell embarrassing stories about you too.
That's right.
So I told him, I said, I'm going to kiss her tomorrow. And he goes, okay. I said, I don't think I'm going to tell her. And of course him, this would be fun. So we go.
I don't remember that version of this.
We go for the first one, and we dipped or whatever, and she was going for the fake kiss. I was going for the real one, and I think I got maybe a quarter. But I remember specifically kiss up, and she goes.
She freaked out.
I got some lip on that one.
She's like, woo! Hey, wait a minute.
And we kind of reined it in a little bit. I remember Wayne Hicks, JT, in the crowd, and his deadpan ways. Kids and their hormones.
He has one of my favorite comments that anybody ran. That's a Tuna Christmas follow-up. I've told it several times. But back to the kiss.
Hang on. We did that, and then we get through it, and she's forgotten to tell me that someone's on the phone because in the script, Paul came home and kissed Corey, and Corey's line in the script is, I forgot, you kissed me and got me all crazy. We get to that line, and she goes, I forgot, you... So it threw us off, but we got through the rest of the night that way.
Yeah.
Got through the rest of the show.
I remember because...
so I had to audition for my first kiss. My wife reminds me of that.
Already, though, because you did want to do the kiss, I was looking at ways to make them seem like they were a newlywed couple that had only been together for 6 days. And so, like, when he first enters, I had her run the length of the stage and just jump onto you and wrap arms and legs around his torso, and we had you fall back onto your own suitcase, which didn't always look quite as comfortable as it could have.
No. There was at least one or two moments of, this is going to be a bad camera angle, but you'll get the point of, oh, no. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, he would fall back onto the suitcase, and he's supposed to stay there with her wrapped around him for the next, like, page and a half of dialogue, at least the way I was blogging it. And she would jump on him, and he would sit down on the suitcase and stand right back up. Her still around you. I think it was those. It was an antique suitcase. I think it was the latches or the handle or something. So.
It was some rude awakenings.
But I told Robert Allen Holder had directed the previous production of that at the Zodiac, and I was emailing him back and forth, and I said, well, I came up with this piece of business for Paul's first entrance, and then they kind of sit there just entwined for the first scene, trying to make it look like they're, newlyweds in love and everything. He goes, that's good staging. So I was like, okay, I got the seal of approval there from my professors.
Side note, I wish I had found theater sooner so I could have. I don't know if Holder was still at UNA while I was there.
No, he left when I left. So his last semester was my last semester.
Well, there's still that thing of I wish I'd have been born about 10 years sooner to actually be, because you, Stefan, and Wes, that's the group that
he sired all of us.
well, and you three all didn't sire but raised me, so to speak.
Right, yeah. So.
That was toys. The room's over there. Zach heard a noise.
Oh.
He thought something was coming through the wall, and that could still happen.
They
Wayne
just bought this house. They don't know what all is theirs.
That is true. Wayne had something after Tuna Christmas, you said?
Oh God! Backstage at Tuna Christmas, there were 3 dressers, and they would just like completely take my clothes off and put the next costume on me, and I would go back out on stage as somebody else. And these were so rapid that you felt like you were going to hit yourself. You felt like you going on was going to hit you coming off at some point. And I begged Adam, I was like, these will be breakaway costumes. Oh yes, they'll be breakaway costumes. They were not breakaway costumes. So I had real clothes on, and they would have to take articles off of me and redress me. And my default underneath everything was a pair of basically pantyhose, whatever the tights or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had a pair of bike shorts on over those.
I don't think I knew about the pantyhose.
Yes, you did. As one character, Helen
Bed. Best friends with I Need a Good One.
I had on, they decided that my costume would be capri pants, little black capri pants, which were basically exactly the same as the black bike shorts that I had on underneath everything else. So I come off stage, and I hook what I'm thinking is the costume and the capri pants, and I hooked everything. And I took it down to my ankles and realized, and I pulled stuff right back up. And so the girls are all sitting there in various, shades of reaction. And so then flash forward to a year or two after that, I was doing Little Shop. And we had a Wicket show, and then after that I went to a karaoke party.
Okay.
And I go into the kitchen at the karaoke party, and there's Brandy with her new fiance.
Hi, Doug.
For whatever reason, she goes, "I've seen him naked." JT's sitting there dealing cards, and he goes, "Get used to her saying that."
Hi, Brandy.
Oh, yeah, that is one of the funniest, off the cuff remarks I've ever heard anybody say.
Wayne
and I've done improv. That's the funny thing. So
Wayne Hicks was also known as Jeff Thomas on Q107. Sorry.
And now he's a preacher.
He's a preacher. He's a preacher.
So,
that's
still
why,
a funny line.
That's why he doesn't come around us anymore. He figured he had to get away. I had a question. Something in there sparked.
Capri pant.
No. Did anything go ridiculously wrong during Tuna Christmas at
In
any
olden
point?
days, a glimpse of stocking was looked upon as something shocking, but now, goodness knows, anything goes. Sorry, what?
Did anything go wrong during rehearsal or show for Tuna Christmas on stage?
There was a backstage moment where I came off, and this was in rehearsal, and they were putting the wrong character on me, and I had presence of mind enough in the rehearsal, I don't know how, to go, I really thought I was Petey next. And Amanda looks over at the list, and she swears. And so they've got to rip half of Vera Karp off of me and go find Petey and get it back on me and everything. But what happened then was it reprogrammed my brain. So I would come off stage and go to the wrong spot to become Vera instead of going to the right spot to be Petey. And so that one glitch then led to more glitches. And it got to, at the end of the run, they would have Brandy standing there just on the other side of the door. And when I walked through the door, she would grab me by the shoulders and spin me and make me go the right way to put on the right costume.
I don't remember that
everything.
one at all.
So, yeah.
I did Tuna Does Vegas just a year or so ago.
Yes.
And you did not come to performance night. We had the one night where we did the bonus Wicket show, and you managed to come after you got off work.
Yes.
But that was Friday night. That was our biggest crowd. Hunter Middleton and Michael Terrell both did excellent jobs. But we had stuff literally falling off the walls that night. Did I tell you that?
No.
So Hunter as Arliss is leaving Michael as Bertha to go to the store. And it's literally just him walking out the door, and after he goes, she's supposed to come to the door and say, oh, and hey, pick me up some cherry chapstick or something like that. We had a shelf on the wall that I had put on the wall. Full blame on me. I had put on the wall, and
You were the one driving the nails.
yeah, well, screws, but yeah. And I put it up there, and it'd been for a few days. Friday night, biggest house yet, rocking and rolling. He goes to leave, and as he shuts the door behind him, cocoon! The shelf falls off, the books that were on it, the candlesticks, just in the floor. And Michael opens the door, and Michael has less stage experience than us. Couldn't have done it any better ourselves. Opens the door. Pick me up some cherry chapstick and some 10-penny nails. And the crowd lost it.
Oh, yeah.
And as director, I set up in the balcony because I want to see. I want to see the audience. I want to see the show. Supposedly in the big time, directors don't even go to their own shows.
Right.
Which I understand their point of it's in the actors' hands now, but I want to be there because I want to be part of the team. And the shelf, I swear to you, I was moving so fast. Stefan was upstairs with me, and Rachel and a couple other people. The door closes, the shelf goes, and I was out of my seat and almost to the stairs before it hit the floor, I think. And I remember behind me hearing Stefan going, so I run back there, and during the scene change, I'm only there to help out. I tell the stage crew, I'm like, I'll clean up the mess. You do what you've been doing, because I didn't want them to have to deal with the extra stuff.
Right.
So I get out there, and get it all done, and we do another scene or two, and then it goes to intermission, and they're like, "What do we do about the shelves?" Already got a plan. I get up there, I put about 14 screws in it, and then I go to the front, duct tape a big X over it.
That's great.
We come back from intermission, and the next time it goes to the house, it opens up and the X is on it, and the crowd laughs just at the shelf
that's
being
great.
back on there.
That is great.
We didn't have any. I can't remember on stage, at least in our shared experiences, I can't remember on stage anything going just terribly awry.
I've got some stories like that that are coming to mind. I do want to back up though, because you mentioned Michael.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with him on West Side Story because I've done it twice. I had to stop and think. At different shows, that we knew each other, and I didn't get to see all of. I saw like most of Tuna Does Vegas in rehearsal, and then I came to the Sunday matinee, and I slipped in and saw the chunk that I had not seen in rehearsal.
Right.
And so but I came, like you said, to that Wicked show that piggybacked on it that night and everything. And Michael had, I thought, the funniest one. You know what I'm talking
exactly
about?
what you're talking about.
Oh God! So we're playing a scene, and was it?
We're doing
Two
Two
to Describe a Third.
Third.
And so the setup for it was that the truck had run out of gas or something.
The quirk I gave Stefan was, and he always says these impossible things. He's the guy. You remember he came up last week and he said, "I can tie my shoes without my hands while they're on my feet." He just says the dumbest over the top things. And when Stefan came in, he said, "Sorry I'm late, guys. Truck ran out of gas. Had to carry it."
Yeah, that he had pushed the truck there, and
I think he said carry.
And then somebody else made the comment. It's like, well, why didn't you just leave it where it was? And Michael Terrell goes, "How's he supposed to get home?"
Killed us.
Oh man, it was that, and I think I still Patrick with the, I don't like the way this radio's looking. Those are two of my funniest things, my favorite things I've ever heard somebody say on stage. So we had a lot of fun doing the after Tuna show, or the show after Tuna, but that always gives me gas. No, things that went wrong on stage. I directed and acted in a production of Mr. Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a piece of furniture. There was the one thing. Like my dad came by one day to ask me something. He's like, "Well, is there anything you need done?" I'm like, "Yeah, hang that door." And that door came off its hinges in performance, and it led to one of my favorite ad libs I've ever done. But it loses something if I tell it. So I'll just suffice to say it was the biggest laugh I ever got on stage in my life. I had time to pick up a glass of orange juice, salute the audience with it, drink the orange juice, set it down, and I was still waiting for the laughter to crest before we could go back into the scene. And JT's sitting there. He was playing the doc in that scene. I was playing Pulver. And we managed to get the scene back on track. In the next scene, though, while something was happening on the main stage, you could hear the crew back there hammering the door's hinges back into place. We didn't think of putting duct tape on it to fix it, so you could hear that happening. And the crew did another thing. One time, I realized that one of my props was not preset in the scene where I'm Pulver, in a different scene where I'm Pulver. And I was standing there while somebody else is talking, and I'm thinking, okay, I've got one more exit and entrance before I need to get that prop. So I'll just grab it from backstage, bring it in with me, and just produce it from a pocket, or maybe I'll stuff it in the... And I'm thinking, I'm already, as the actor, thinking how I'm going to cover this. And I see, as the ship's crew enters, that the guys kind of close ranks on each other, and one of them turns and kind of squats down and pivots and stuffs my prop where it's supposed to be, under the pillow of the bed and everything. So the stage crew had already realized my prop was not preset, and they were already taking care of it, and they had gotten the actors to fix it for them, and everything. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, my crew takes such good care of me. Those guys are just doing a really great... Oh, I have a line. And I forgot to be an actor in the scene because I was making notes as a director for a split second there. So yeah.
Who was that crew?
The stage crew was Nona and Will, and Sheena was up in the booth. So yeah, and they.
Because of you and Barefoot in the Park, I've always got a Southern somewhere in my my performance.
Well, I'm trying to think if Will was there for Roberts. I know he was there for Odd Couple because he had the unenvious task of cleaning the spaghetti out of the suitcase every night. There's a scene where Olive, which is the Austrian, I did the female version of the Odd Couple. I was sort of like the Paul Feig of my time. And so
Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, I shouldn't. So there's a scene where Olive is packing up Florence to make her she's going to throw her out and everything. Florence is the Felix character. Although if you say Olive and Florence, it sounds like you're telling